Randy and Elle back with you on SportsCenter. Sickening. You're going to see why we're showing Fizdale's face, the Knicks coach, and sickening in just a minute. Also sickening, maybe for Nuggets fans, Nikola Jokic hasn't been Jokic-like in the last few games, but he says, you know, he can pull it together.
I'm struggling right now. I cannot make shots, so it is what it is. I'm gonna try to. I mean, even when I'm not making shots, I think I can affect the game in some other ways.
So yesterday, his role was as a waiter because he was serving.
Oh.
See here, backs his man down, finds Will Barton, who had 17 points, led the team, by the way. Later on in the game, Jokic, cross court, to Paul Millsap, corner pocket. Get it. Later on in the game. By the way, 8 players for the Nuggets reached double figures. It was about as much of a, there's a cliche coming here, team effort as you can have.
Nice.
The bench, 74 points. Jokic only had 6 points, but 8 assists, and the Nuggets win 129-92. By the way, Knicks now lose 8th game in a row. First time in franchise history that they lose back-to-back games by 30-plus points, and with their coach, Fizdale, is not mincing words.
Sickening. And they'll have to rewatch it. Just like I'm going to watch it 3 or 4 times, they're going to have to suffer through it as well.
4-18, are you worried this is going to fall on you? Ultimately.
I don't care about all of that. I don't even think about that, really. I think about the next team we're playing. I think about the guys in the locker room and how I can help them. At the end of the day, that's all I care about.
You heard the reporter mention their record, 4-18.
It's not good.
Yeah, it's actually the worst record in the Eastern Conference, and it's tied for their worst record through 22 games in franchise history, which seems like something because we've seen some bad Knicks teams. The other time that they started 4-18, they went on to lose 65 games, okay? Keep in mind, there's only 82. That's tied with last season for the worst in the history of the team.
Okay. Elsewhere in the Eastern Conference, 76ers are perfect at home. Problem is, they're far from it on the road, especially when taking on the Wizards on the road. Haven't won there since November 2013. Royals by Lord was the #1 song on the Billboard. The Latvian Laser, we're going to introduce you to Latvian Laser, Davis Bertans, who could not miss. 4 for 4. I like his beard. I like a lot of what he brings on and off the court. Another shot, sure. Yeah, we're 5 of 5 from distance. Rui Hachimura said he's the best shooter that I've ever seen.
He's like, let me be your ruler.
8 for 8 from the field, 6 for 6 from 3 in the first half, 22 points, finished with 25 because he missed 7 shots in the second half.
Okay.
We're just going to say that. Mm-hmm. This is a Sixers team that is good, with good players. And Tobias Harris is one of them. He had a game-high 33, but he called their overall showing, quote-unquote, terrible. And Rui Hachimura led Les Wizards with 27. And they're the Wiz, and nobody beats them. 119-113 for their 7th win of the season.
Apparently we had some acting happen. What? On a basketball court? No soccer? We'll start with Kyle Lowry. I haven't seen this flop. I heard it's a bad one. Okay, wait. Let's break this down, Randy.
Yeah.
Where is the supposed where?
Right there. It was
what?
that elbow.
Where?
DJ Tucker, the right elbow, right there.
Stop it, Kyle. What a ridiculous effort.
Okay, this one I think might be more legit. Joe Thornton, so Peter Mrazek, the goaltender, tries to slash him with his goalie stick. And Thornton's like, get up so I can punch you. Bang.
Oh.
And down goes Mrazek. And I think Mrazek sold it pretty well, but I also sometimes think big trees fall hard. And when you're punched by a larger human, Joe Thornton, I don't know, Mrazek should have checked himself.
He stayed down before he wrecked himself?
Well, he's from the Czech.
There it is. Okay.
We have Czech descent.
Okay, we have conference championship weekend begins tonight. Utah facing Oregon for the Pac-12 title. Tyler Huntley, Utah quarterback, quietly having one of the best seasons in college football as he ranks 5th nationally total QBR. And then his high school teammate, running back Zach Moss, has also had a huge season for the Utes. Leads the Pac-12 in rushing. Faced a tough test in Oregon's defense, though. Ducks allowed just 3.2 yards per rush. And a lot riding on this game. Utah's playoff host really on the line. The Utes currently have a 13% chance to reach the playoff. That would jump to 26% with a win. So the Utes likely need some help in addition to a victory. The help could, of course, come from LSU beating Georgia, which, well, David Pollack probably knows what's going to happen there. But we're not going to talk about that game because that's tomorrow. Let's talk about David Pollack. The Pac-12 championship should be a good one. Who would you say has the advantage between the Justin Herbert-led offense and that stout Utah D?
I would give the edge to Utah's defense. It's been one of the most consistent units in the country. And when you watch Oregon, Justin Herbert has been a big name for a long time, but They're built on running the football. Big physical offensive line that does a great job going against some adults, some absolute adults at Utah. You're talking about 330, 320. You're talking about NFL talent all over the field. I know people don't pay attention to Utah as much as others, but at least 6 guys I think that'll get drafted into the NFL just on defensive alone. So I think I would give the edge to Utah. But here's the thing. If you watched Utah-Colorado a week ago, a scrambling quarterback like Montez buying some time, made some plays, got some first downs, got that tempo going. That's the way Oregon's got to do it. They got to get that tempo going. Herbert with his feet, get some first downs, and try to wear out that defense.
You're right. There's a little bit of a Pac-12 bias, but in particular for Utah, they'll have the national stage tonight. In fact, most of the time, for the people that are kind of like peripheral fans would say, they only hear Utah come to a conversation as it pertains to could them or Oklahoma sneak into the playoffs. But how strong a case does Baylor have if they're able to beat the Sooners in the Big 12 championship?
I think they got a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. When you look at Utah, they could lose Friday night. Listen, I bragged on them, but Oregon's a really good team too. And, Utah's not the most explosive offense, but they're just very physical and don't beat themselves. But, I think they got a good chance. Baylor, they were up 25 on this team. That's their only loss, so they come back and avenge that. And really, Baylor has done a better job the last several weeks, 2-3 weeks of the season, clicking on offense and scoring 61 a week ago and destroying Texas a couple weeks ago. So I think they're starting to peak. They'd be a Big 12 champion. But again, if Georgia wins, we got nothing on Sunday. So if Georgia loses to LSU and now Utah loses, that opens the door for the Big 12 champion big time in a big way, and that could be Baylor.
Put the emphasis on if Georgia wins. But, of course, look, at some point we wrote off the Pac-12 champion. We wrote off the Big 12 champion as well. And here we are firmly in the conversation with both. That Big 12 championship game coming tomorrow noon Eastern on ABC. David Pollack, look forward to you on College Game Day tomorrow as well. But as for what is going to be a huge, huge game tonight, you're going to see it. 5th-ranked Utah looking to keep those playoff hopes alive and really force the conversation for the committee tonight as they take on Oregon on ABC, and as always, streaming live on the ESPN app.
All right, back to the NFL. When we come back, we got more on the state of the star and how the Cowboys' latest loss just had a colossal feel to it. We look at exactly how the Bears further embarrass Dallas, and don't tell the others.